I think it has two dimensions. One dimension has to do with domestic American politics, and it's connected to the longevity of the lobby for Israel and Zionism in the United States, as I mentioned, which was becoming particularly effective in the 50s and the 60s, but had a long history going back to the end of the First World War. And this effective lobby, by the way, which is not just Jewish lobby, the Christian Zionists, as we call them, namely important churches of evangelical Christianity, play a very important role in this lobby alongside military industry, security industry, multinational corporations. So there's a whole alliance there that has been gelled into a powerful lobby over the years to such an extent that until now, until recently, both houses of the Congress, by inertia, even without any need for the lobby to be very active now, because it has been so effective for such a long time, know exactly what is expected from them when it comes to Israel, whether it is an unconditional support for legislation against Palestinians, against the Arabs, for Israel, or receiving Netanyahu the way they received. In fact, whenever Netanyahu speaks, and even those before him who were Israeli prime ministers who spoke there, I mean, they can read from a phone book and they will get 54 evasion. This is very little to do with the content. It was just the lobby wants to show that the Congress is still totally in its hands. But compared to other appearances, this time 80 members of the Congress, which is still a minority given the large number of both representatives and senators, yet much larger than ever before, said we're not playing the game. And I think that's a trend that will continue. So we have to take that into account. But right now, historically, where we are, you can be sure that whoever gets elected in 2024, in the coming November elections, the Congress will behave in the same way, because it is the result of this the long existing, or the very powerful, effective lobby that exists in the United States. So that's one dimension. What is interesting is how the speech was viewed in Israel itself, which has to do with Israeli domestic politics and not with the American domestic politics. The speech highlighted the current deep divide we have within the Israeli Jewish society between what you can call the secular Jews and the religious Jews. You can call it the right and left in Israel, it doesn't matter. And there is a huge divide. There is, in fact, an implosion of the Israeli society from within. Unfortunately, I say this as someone who supports the Palestinian cause, this has nothing to do with Israel's treatment of the Palestinians, not even with the Israeli genocide of Gaza. This is a domestic struggle that has one common basis, which is that Israel should continue to be an apartheid state. But it's a discussion of whether Israel should be a secular apartheid state, liberal for the Jews and multicultural for the Jews who live there, or should it be a theocratic Jewish state. And Netanyahu's speech, I think, was as much directed to his base, which is this religious Jewish group that I used to call State of Judea, to show them that he can get galvanized support in America for their views. But a lot of people in Israel were very annoyed by it, and it exposed what really troubles many in the Israeli Jewish society today, Netanyahu's total indifference to the fate of those Israelis who are captured by the Hamas and the Islamic Jihad in Gaza. It was clear that in that speech, that he cares very little about their fate, and he needs a war to continue to stay in power. And this is more or less the message domestically he gave to the Israelis, which some of them, quite a large number of them, do not accept, but we'll see how it will unfold in the future.